everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and like this video. It really helps a lot and I really appreciate your support. Thanks for stopping by this video. Today we are doing a homecoming makeup tutorial and this is using mostly drugstore products, but on the eyes we have the Too Faced Naturalized palette and we have the NYX Ultra Pearl Mania pigment, which is so beautiful. I'm using that as a highlight as well as on my eyes. I really have a mixture here of drugstore and high-end, but it's mostly drugstore. I feel like the only high-end product I use was the Too Faced Naturalized palette. But you can use drugstore eyeshadow if you would like, but I just find that eyeshadow palette works really good with this look. And I also use eyelashes today. I am using the Eyelene Eyelashes. These were on sale at Walmart, so I got these on my eyes as well. So if you want to see how I got this homecoming makeup look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face to make sure that my makeup stays on all day, and I think this is really important if you're going to homecoming or prom and you want your makeup to last throughout the night. I'm using the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm. This just makes my makeup stay on all day. It creates a nice sticky surface for the foundation. As you can see, I already did my eyebrows just to make things a little bit easier for the tutorial, but I used the Milani Stay Put brown color in the shade medium brown, and I used the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper Brow Gel Mascara in the shade Blonde. I'm also going to use a second primer, and this is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. I like to use this to fill in my pores. It's kind of a silicone-y texture primer, and it just really helps fill in the pores. So I just do it in my T-zone. Now, if I was going to go to homecoming, which is kind of weird because I was in high school like 10 years ago. So, well, like 8 or 9, I was at homecoming, but if I were to go back again, I would want my skin to be glowy and not so matte or anything, but just, I would really like a nice glow. So I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations ever. It gets full coverage and it is very glowy. Well, it's not too glowy, but it's just the right amount of glow. If you want a more matte foundation, you can use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, or you can use the Wet n Wild Photofocus. I think that one is pretty matte as well. But today we're just going to go in with this, and I'm in the shade 202 Creamy Natural. So it is kind of runny a little bit, but I'm just going to dot this all over my face. To blend this foundation out, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Sponge. This is their foundation sponge. I love this sponge. It is so good, so bouncy, and it's my favorite sponge to blend out foundation. It gives really good coverage and it's just a nice glowy finish, which I love because my skin is more dry, normal to dry, so I really like this foundation. For my concealer, I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Concealer. This is oil-free, and I really love this. It gives really great coverage, and it's the perfect shade for me. I just really love the finish of it. I am in the shade Ivory, which I believe might be the lightest shade or the second to lightest shade. I'm just going to make a kind of a V shape under my eyes. I really want some good coverage. Now I'm just going to blend that out with the other side of my sponge, the pointy side. That's all blended out. I'm going to set it with the NYC Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder in the shade Translucent. This is really affordable if you are in high school. This is a really good powder to bake with if you want to bake. I am going to bake today, just because if I was going to homecoming, I would want my concealer to last all day, and baking really helps with that. So I'm just gonna take some on my sponge and just pat it right underneath my eye. Now, baking does kind of make a mess, so make sure you're wearing a shirt that you don't really care about. Don't be wearing your dress and then do your makeup, because then you might get your dress dirty. So I'm gonna let that bake for about 5 minutes, and then I'm just going to set the rest of my face using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in the shade Natural. Any blemishes like me right now, I have one right here. I'm just going to take some loose powder and I'm just going to dab it onto my pimple, and it's just kind of baked there, and it's going to help cover up that blemish just a little bit more. So that is my trick for if you have a blemish and you're trying to cover it up, or if you're having a hard time covering up. Just put some loose powder there, let it bake while you're baking your under eye, and it will really help. Now that that has been sitting on my face for a while, I'm going to just take a little bit more powder on this Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going to wipe the powder away. I'm also going to put it on my eyes just to kind of help set my eyes before I put eyeshadow on it. Okay, I'm going to take a break from the face for a little bit. I'm going to go to the eyes, and I'm just going to let this bake on my blemish for just a little bit more because I want it to cover up as much as possible. So we are going to go into the eyes, and I am going to be using the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. I really love this. If you're just starting out in makeup, this is a good palette to pick up because there's just a bunch of neutral shadows in there. And it's just really good for natural eyes. You can create a more intense eye. You can create a really neutral eye. You can do a lot with this palette. And it's one of the cheaper ones at Sephora. I think it's in the $35 range. So it's more cheaper than like the Urban Decay palettes or the Lorac palettes. So if you're just starting out, I think this is a really good palette to pick up. So the first shade I'm going to use is Nudie right here, which is just a nice matte light brown, and it's going to be our transition shade. I am just using a Sigma tapered blending brush, but you can use any blending brush that you have. This one's kind of pricey, but they have good ones from e.l.f. or Real Techniques at the drugstore. So I'm just going to buff this into my crease, just right above my crease as a nice transition shade. And I am going to kind of be going into my inner corner because we are going to be creating a halo eye today, which I've been really enjoying doing. So that's not any different than a regular eye, besides I'm just going into my inner corner more with my crease brush. So I'm just kind of like going into that inner corner more instead of just focusing it on the outer part. I'm going in as well. Key to a nice eyeshadow look is blending. So you just want to take your time blending all the eyeshadows together. It's just going to look more seamless, and it's going to look just more flawless. You might have to take a little bit more extra minutes if you want to have that flawless look, but I feel like if you're getting ready for a big event such as homecoming, you will take those extra couple minutes if you want to look really good. Get your eyeshadow to be poppin' for the homecoming. Yeah, we want it to be poppin'. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the next darkest shade, which is Cashmere Bunny. And this is just a step darker than Nudie, and it's still matte. It's just a more medium brown shade, and we're just going to deepen up that crease just a little bit. As you can see, we're going from end to end, and we're keeping it the lid shade right there in the middle blank. The next thing I'm going to do is go in with an eyeshadow primer, and I could have done this all over my lid, but I didn't really feel like that was necessary. I'm going to just put it on my lid so that my lid shade really pops. And this primer that I'm using is the Wet n Wild Photofocus, and I like this one because it's really sticky. So whatever color you put on top of it is going to really adhere to it. And that's exactly what we want, because we want that lid shade to really pop. So I'm just taking a very small amount. You definitely do not need a lot of this because It is really tacky and sticky, and it's really good if you're going to use glitter as well. So I'm just popping this on the center of the lid. The first lid shade we're going to use is right from this palette, and it's in the shade Silk Teddy, which is a nice pinky champagne color, and I'm just using a flat brush to pack that on the lid. And as you can see, that eyeshadow primer is really making this shadow pop. This shadow is pigmented on its own, but the primer really helps. Now I'm just going to go back in with my crease brush and just blend out those edges a little bit so it looks a little more blended, not all choppy. Now I'm going to deepen up the crease a little bit to make it more dramatic. You can stop right here if you want it to be a little bit more natural. But I'm going to use the shade Sexpresso in the Too Faced palette, and this is a more darker brown, and it is matte, and it's just a really nice dark chocolate brown that really deepens up the crease nicely. And I'm just using a smaller crease brush from Sonia Kashuk. It's really tiny, and it's going to really get into that inner corner and really help us create that halo effect that I'm looking for, or that I'm trying to achieve, you know what I mean? Okay, so it looks a little crazy, but we haven't blended it yet. So first I just lay down the color, and then I go back in with my crease brush and I just work on blending it out. Okay, so for my second lid shade, I wanted to put the Too Faced shadow on first, just as a base, but I'm going to top it with this NYX Ultra Pearl Mania. It's like a pigment, and it's so pretty. It's like a pink champagne color. I don't have the color on here, but it's just so beautiful. You can also use that as a highlight. It's like a pink, and it's so pigmented. Like, I cannot believe this is even real. So this is what the shade looks like. It's just so beautiful. So we're gonna put this on our eyes, and I'm going to use my flat brush like I used in the beginning. And I'm just going to put this right on the lid. It's just going to make it that much more sparkly and pink and girly. I love it. And I'm gonna take my crease brush and just blend it out, because you want to blend out those harsh edges. Now I'm gonna take this brush, pick up a little product, and I'm also gonna highlight my inner corner with this. I'm also gonna take a little bit and go underneath my brow. I forgot about this baking I was doing on my blemish, so I'm just going to wipe that away. And as you can see, it did cover up pretty good. The baking, it really helped to cover that up even more. Now I am going to put on some lashes just to make this eyeshadow look pop. So I'm using these lashes that I got from Walmart, and they were actually on sale. They are from the brand Eyelene, and they're called Kiss Some Lash. I don't know, the price tag is covering it up, but they look really nice. They look really long and not very voluminous, but I feel like they'll look really good for this homecoming look. Now, if you don't want to use lashes, or if you don't have experience with them, or if you just don't want that dramatic of a look, then you can just put on mascara and you'll be good to go. First thing I'm going to do before I put the lashes on is I'm going to coat my lashes with just one coat of mascara. I'm using the Clump Crusher by Covergirl, but you can use any mascara that you want. And like I said, if you don't want to put eyelashes on, you can just put a whole bunch of mascara on, as much as you want, and curl your lashes, and you can make them look good even without fake eyelashes for sure. Today I'm just going to use fake eyelashes. I've never used these eyelashes before, but they look really flexible, and the band looks really thin. The lashes look really long and wispy. I really like them. I think they're gonna look really good. Okay, so I have my lashes on, and these are definitely interesting to say the least. They're very long, and I'm not sure how I really feel about them, and I did have kind of an issue putting them on. So if you're not really experienced with lashes, I don't suggest you put these lashes on, or any lashes for that matter, because you don't want to screw up your whole look and have to start over. That really sucks. I didn't have to start over or anything. It just took me a while to get them on. But now I'm going to go back to my face, and I'm going to bronze up my skin. And for that, I'm using the Rimmel bronzer in the shade Sunlight. And I'm just going to put that on my cheekbones. I'm just going to take my e.l.f. contour and blush kit, and I'm going to contour with the shade. Blush in the palette and just use a little bit of this. I don't want to put too much on there just because it's really pigmented. I'm going to work on the bottom lash line. I'm going to go back with my Too Faced palette, and I am going to take this darker espresso color that we use to darken our crease, and I'm just going to put this on the lower lash line. Take my Milani eyeliner, and I'm going to line my lower lash line. Put mascara on my lower lashes, the Covergirl Clump Pressure. Now I'm going to go back in with the NYX Ultra Mania that we used on our lid, and I'm just going to put some on my hand. Actually, I'll put on too much. I'm going to touch on my inner corner a little bit on this side because I had to wipe it off. Actually, also going to highlight with this. I'm going to take this BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm just going to take some and put it on my cheekbones. It's really great for a highlight as well. You can use it as an eyeshadow, a highlight, whatever you want, because it's just so beautiful. Look at that glow, look at that glow. It's going to take my Beauty Blender sponge, and I'm just going to blend that out a little bit just to make it a little bit more natural and seamless. For my lips, I'm going to do a neutral shade, and I'm using the NYX Lingerie lip. They're kind of like liquid lipsticks. They dry really quick, and they just go really good with this eye look because it's a nice neutrally pink shade. It's in the shade Lace Detail, and it's such a beautiful shade. That is my homecoming makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you recreate it down below, and thumbs it up if you like it. And I hope you guys subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys. Mwah.